My name is Julie, and this is my video out. There's this person around Birmingham named Calla Lee who inspires me to really embrace my femininity within punk. And the brand of femininity within punk can be associated with, toughness and brashness. And I feel that with her, and I'm glad to say that we're friends. I grew up, I was born in Birmingham, Alabama, and I spent some time in Hayden when I was really young, but most of my childhood and all of that associated, I was in Gardendale. I knew I wasn't straight when I was 11, and I had actually, around that time, been kicked out of a Boy Scout troop for openly saying that I was bisexual. I figured out that I wasn't exactly cis when I was around 14, I want to say. Well, when it came to being gay, I figured out that I was gay before I figured out I was trans. I think I told my parents first, and they were accepting. They kind of knew what to do with that. A couple of years later, I think when I was 14, my grandmother was really the first to know, and she was very welcoming and accepting. I told my parents later, a couple of weeks later, and they didn't have the same level of acceptance that my grandmother had, which is a shame, but I guess you just kind of have to live with that, Some days it's terrifying. Sometimes I just hate to get up and, put on this performance. But then I realize that my unhappiness with this cannot really compare to the unhappiness that I felt every single day when I was wearing masculine clothes and having a masculine societal association. I think I've carved out my own little niche here in Birmingham. I know a lot of queer people and I hang out with a lot of queer people. I'm a regular at the hardcore punk scene around here, and that has a lot of queer folk, and it's really welcoming and diverse. I also am sort of loosely associated with kink, and that's also been a very sort of welcoming community. At least in the sense that I explored a lot with my girlfriend and people that she knows. I guess I really have two answers for that. For my younger self, I would want to say, don't wait. Find the people that you know would accept you and love you because they're there. You just have to look. And just when you finally find out who you are, don't wait. And for other queer kids, I would recommend finding somebody like a trusted adult, or somebody within the queer community that you and that they like you back. Go to the mall together. Go to a clothing shop and just try on some clothing that makes you feel comfortable within your gender. That was one of the things that sort of cemented my relationship with gender, and it was really helpful. I had that experience, and I hope others can achieve that experience too. Yeah, growing up in the South is a constant terror, because, I was raised in Gardendale, which is a primarily Southern Baptist town, and I was always worried that they would try to start something with me because I wasn't their idea of what a good person should be, right? Because I I am gay, I am autistic. I didn't come out as trans like with those people, but it was kind of an open secret. And I was just always worried that I would get like jumped or something when I was like walking down the street. But I know that like my fear in living in the South doesn't really compare to what like black and brown trans people like feel every single day. So I have to keep that into account, but like it's still, you know, really sucks, you know. Stability. The South, we're kind of like an economic cesspit, or a cesspool, especially, you know, here in Birmingham, where everything is like becoming like more and more gentrified, and like poor and working class people are like being, you know, shoved out into the streets. Like Southtown, which is a community housing project, which is not too far from where I live, at UAB's campus. They're tearing that down for some, you know, mixed development site, and it really just shows how capitalism really affects us all, because I know that like as a trans working person that my interests really lie with, you know, cis working people and, you know, black and brown people, you know, with me being white, and it really it lacks stability, but I guess it enhances, you know, that sort of class solidarity. I want to see a homemade pride. I want to see a pride without corporations, without a massive police presence. I want pride to be a celebration of queer life, and on a long-term scale, I think that you know, just places that queer people can go to that aren't like bars or youth centers or something would also be really helpful, like a cafe or even like a little library or something. I am more beautiful than mortal says eyes can imagine, so that that sort of makes me smile day to day.